Thank you so much, Mrs. Mclean. Thank you for sharing with us your experience so far, 1 year and counting. Commendation on your journey.
Thank you.
And you have done well, being a husband, being a friend, and just an onlooker from the sidewalk. I think you have earned yourself enough merit, and I hope that others will be inspired and they will take heed to what you have made mention of, and they will also read between the lines. I like how you ended today's interview, sharing that make where you are work. Welcome guys back to Kingdom Expression, where it's all about changing life through effective living. Here with us today on my channel, she's no stranger. She's my wife, and we want to chit chat today about the experience so far in America. It has been a year and 1 month and a few days since we migrated, and you all would know by now, or should know by now, that she's a teacher here in the States, and that's the job offer we would have received. And so we want to talk about the experience so far, 1 year tallied. What has she learned, how she can encourage others who are interested in migrating, what was her support system like, and the list goes on. So welcome, Mrs. Mclean. She's decked out. It's a day before her 34th birthday, so we want to wish her happy birthday when it comes from the Kingdom family, and we hope she lives to see many, many more. All right, she's not at work, but she looks like as though she's at work, and this is how she normally looks, well decorated and professional. So welcome, Rusheda. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on your channel once more. It has been a pleasure, given circumstances of growth, and I have my own channel. I think you're going to put my channel name here. If you're not subscribed, you can, if you have a love for fashion and beauty and lifestyle. But it's a pleasure to be on his channel, Kevon's channel, because it's always a moment where I get to go into a different side of me that people on my channel, they're not normally used to seeing, or that's not the content that I give on my channel on a regular basis. So it's refreshing to be here with Kevon chatting. Yeah.
All right, so guys, we want to get right into it, and we hope you've been having a great time so far. And for those teachers who are transitioning now, we wish you a safe transition as you migrate. And so quickly, Rusheda, I think that the viewers will want to know, while preparing to come to America, what were some of the challenges, at least 2 of the major challenges you would have found and you believe that is worth noting and they should look out for?
All right, so my number 1 challenge with making a decision to come to America to work, live, was money, financial support. Money was one of the biggest challenges. It's never enough. When you think that you have enough, you always stumble into something else. And I have a family, including myself, a family of 4. So coming to the US, the first thing that chipped into my mind was like, I have no idea or experience what it's like living in the US. Even though I'm coming to work, I'm not getting paid as a land. So coming here, I now had to go in a mindset to prepare myself enough to an extent that, okay, I'm going to make a decision to do something that I have no idea about. Prices for food, prices for utilities, I'd have no experience in that arena because I came here as a J1 student, and you know, certain things was taken care of for me. But now finance was a big challenge, because if I can be transparent with you and your viewers, just a reminder for myself too, we realized that the money that we saved up wasn't enough even before we came here, so we had to borrow. The challenge occurred when you're trying to get a loan from Jamaica, NCBR, Scotia, and them want a bag of stuff. Sorry if I dropped the patois. We have Jamaicans here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a challenge starts to occur, and then when you have $1 million or two, you feel like housing before me get paid might take me 2,000, 3,000 US. So a whole heap of challenge started to occur when we started to decide that we're coming here, this is the move that we're going to take, and how much money we're going to need that we don't currently have. So borrowing loan was a challenge. And I said one of the big challenge. And the second one was my family. My 2 kids, my son at the time was 3 and my daughter at the time was 6. And my husband is currently a full-time employment by the Ministry of Education, where he's a guidance counselor. So taking my family from a life that we currently have to come and transition themselves into a new one was a big challenge. It almost led me to even delay previous applications and opportunity, because my husband and I did not fully know how we were going to transition our family to continue the same life we were living in Jamaica, if it makes sense. You know, you have your son, which is 3 years old. He's going to be into a new Americanized system where he's going to go to school when he's 4. He's not allowed to go when he's 3. You have my husband, we're having full-time job as a guidance counselor. I leave all of that behind. I have my daughter that's figuring things out. So all that mixed personality to elements, so all that mixed personality, and it took a toll on us mentally, and it's something that you can't even get over even now, because we're still at transition. But family and finance, the two biggest lessons I've learned so far. Challenge us.
You're an art teacher by profession.
I am.
You don't look it. You're artistic, but you don't look it.
Really? Look at my face.
Yeah, but girls always their makeup. What was the application process like? Would you like to share briefly, you know, how you found it?
Okay, if you're thinking about coming here to the US to work as a specialized teacher like myself, the area that I'm at, I'm not going to speak generally because I don't know every ins and outs of the US procedure, but from my area, I'm in Georgia, they only take some specific subject area for content and specialized teacher. So like for me, I'm an art teacher, and you find that they take music and
science,
PE.
math.
For connections. Yeah, I'm just talking about skill area. The application process and my interviews went smoothly. I followed all the instruction. My husband did most of the paperwork for me, but the little that I could just garner now thinking about it in my head was like, there was an application process. You fill out the application, you submit it, you wait for feedback. There's a pool of job positions that you apply once, and then you keep on putting that job application
documents needed in that portal
into that portal, so other schools and principal could see. Once you're qualified in the system, you stay there. You know, like you put something on a shelf and you just stay there looking nice, and then a principal go into your portal and look at your resume, your documentation, and select you.
Not to break it though, were there other opportunities you got apart from coming to Georgia that you would have received to go and teach?
Yes, we got other opportunities. Canada was an option, but it was a very low option. England was an option. England.
Yeah, England
was an option.
I think you got through for EPI, one of those programs as well.
it was America, so it's like
yes,
America, so I'm not really getting details. But so there was a lot of options that we selected. But as an art teacher, though, if you're an art teacher watching, hi, how are you? We artists applying to come to Savannah to teach, you see whole job interviews have portfolios where you have to present and you have to show students work. You know, you're not told to do this, and I always tell people, always think ahead. Always try to be the best you can be for you. When I did my interviews, my husband set up a Dropbox for me. That's what you call it?
Yes, Dropbox.
And I took all my students' work, because I've been teaching for 9 years at the time, and I went to school and took some pictures of my CXC pieces, and I took pieces of past experience, and my husband put them together for me like a catalog thing in Dropbox. And every time I did my interview, I direct my interviewers to the link, and I got all, it's like it's in the interview, speaking like how I'm speaking now on this interview that Kevon is having with me, is one thing. But when somebody can see what you can do with your kids, it blows their mind. So I encourage you to think out of the box and be creative. It might not be a catalog on Dropbox. It could be something else. It could be you have your artwork right here, so first and you're doing your interview, have your nice setup, right? It could be several different creative ways, but do not believe that they need you, but do not believe that you're the only one that they need.
That's good.
You get what I mean?
That's good. All right, I know you'd have traveled in the past, the J1 program. I won't divulge much. The J1 experience would have, I'm assuming, is different from the H1B experience. The H1 experience that you're now on, could you just briefly share how different it for you coming on the work program, studying in college, in opposed to you now being on a work visa that has dual intent, meaning that you are here to work, to live, and to stay? What the experience is like. Just briefly.
He's asking me to briefly explain something very long. Well, I'll try my best.
The difference between an H1 and a J1.
There is a big difference. The one, let me start with the J1 and then I'll combine everything.
Visas.
Yeah, the J1 visa, when I went to the US Embassy, the mindset that I had to have was that I was going for cultural exchange. Baby girl was not going to live. I was not going to study. I was going for culture exchange, and that include not staying at home waiting for Americans to come and pick me up and we go out and tour. It was going in work settings, not just to work money, but to have cultural exchange in work environments. I think that was a good selection for the J1 program. It's a good way of helping us to exchange culture, because you'll be out there in the public and you'll be interacting with people on a daily basis. So I feel like that's one of the biggest, difference with the J1. When it comes to an H1 with dual intent, them left off the part there, don't leave off dual intent, because I don't just have an H1B, I have a dual intent H1B. Kevon will talk about that on his channel, I guess, in terms of details. Later what does that mean? Or you can Google it. But dual intent compared to my J1, totally massive. It's like I am now expected, even before I got here, to come and work with a school district, meaning that all that teaching experience that I had in Jamaica, I need to take it to America to start teaching as I land, like a week after I land. So workshop meetings, we have PD in Jamaica and we have staff meeting, all of that started, and nobody spoon feed me. I had to, if I'm taking my family, I had to make sure I had an apartment for them to live. I had a car to drive. My bills had to be paid, and food preparation for that, schooling for kids, insurance for kids, medical before they could go into school. It was like I am living in this country, I'm with my family, and I'll be working, and I have deliverables to do every single weekday. So I'm expected to come and function like an American and like a US citizen, right? I'm expected to come. It's not a cultural exchange thing right now. American kids need to learn art, and that's my job, to teach them art. So
you see, guys, she's a talker. She may look quiet, but she's a talker. That's more than a brief. That's like panty. But anyway, as you settle though, I think the viewers would really want to, and they would appreciate this from you, to have an idea. Cultural exchange is named one of the biggest experience and challenge for anyone settling. So briefly, again, tell us, you know, what was culturally, you know, drastic for you, or the change, anything that stand out for you in the classroom, or the experience being a teacher here in the state compared to being in Jamaica.
Okay, so there is thank you for that question. It's really a question that, you know, sometimes takes a little bit of emotion from me, because being 33 when I got here, teaching for 9+ years.
You're 32.
Yeah, well, it's saying me might be 33, but
yeah,
you can say 32. Being here, teaching for 9+ years in Jamaica, and coming to the US now to work in an environment that I have no idea what it's like. I have experienced culture shock, and culture shock in good and bad ways, if I can be, you know, brutally honest. My first culture shock was the people, communicating with people, understanding language, understanding way of life, understanding appearance of how people dress, of how people expresses themselves. My culture is, you know, drastically different. I was very surprised in good and bad ways how people receive compliments, receive critiques. I had to, you know, be mindful. It's like you're talking, you know, people always say you're walking on eggshells, because you don't know if somebody might sue you. You hear these horror stories back in Jamaica that, you know, the American system is a sue kind of system, you know, so it's like you walk on chalk, you walk on eggshells, and you're scared. But then, you know, gradually I learned to appreciate the culture and not to change my culture for the culture that I'm now in. So I had to learn how to say, okay, Rusheda, you are Jamaican. You go over something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. You might question it. So if the Americans, they don't do it, do not change your culture for them. You will adjust to live with the Romans. You adjust yourself, right?
Yes, yes.
But you'll not change who you are because of the American culture. Because if they wanted American culture, you'll not be here, because you're Jamaican. They want you to be in the classroom with your students, teaching them the Jamaican way, because they want to take me from the country. I don't live here. I don't know nothing about here. But they want something what me have. But they're not saying for me to come and change myself for them. They want me to come and use my professionalism and do my best. So the culture shock of the people, the food. There's no food like Jamaica. Big up yourself, Jamaicans.
She loves food. She loves food. And if you follow me, you see I'm always cooking for them.
Yes, and
alright, always cooking.
We kept that culture, but the shocker, the stuff them this interview is gonna be a long one.
Yeah, I may have to do a part 2, because there are several questions, and they're really good questions. So I may have to just ask maybe 2 more, 3 more, and then stop it right there, and hopefully we can continue. What would you say would have contributed to your swift transition? I say swift because I'm living with you, and compared to the experiences and what would have been told by others, and what would have happened, I believe we would have swiftly transitioned. What do you think has contributed to you swiftly transitioning life? For example, your home, your decor, you're big on decoration, all these stuff, guys, all these pillowcases, your bed, and if you follow her, you see that in a year, you move pretty fast, Mrs. Mclean, you know. What do you think has contributed to that swift transition?
I'm going to answer this really fast, and the biggest thing for me is the support of my lovely husband.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the support. I cannot sit here beside him and say, you know, say because I do my degree, I'm gonna come with my degree knowledge, I'm gonna have my experience, and John over there, so they give me some, you know, support. My husband stood by me in America like no other. no family, by extension, no friend. My husband made it work even when they told him it could not work. We stayed up. We, you know, America time more faster than any time I ever experienced. And me and this man stayed up and figured it out every single day, and we continue to work together. This is not perfection right here, Senna, but here what? We made it work. And the support of him and myself working together, the kids working with us too, help us to be comfortable, because this might not be comfort for some people, right?
Yeah.
But for us it is.
Some people need jacuzzi and all those stuff.
Yes. But for us, the support of myself and my husband made the transition beautiful. And that's good enough for us.
Well, thank you for the hidden joke, for the open compliment. Yeah, but support is important, guys. Trust me. If you follow me on my channel, you'll notice there are videos that will detail what, or to some extent detail what would have done or what we would have done throughout the process. So you can see, at least have a better appreciation of the journey. Could you walk us through a day with Mrs. Mclean at school? Just a nice little routine. What is it that you get up, like in the morning? What do you do first? You know, what time do you reach school?
All right, so here where I'm in Georgia, we're 1 hour ahead of most states. No, not most. No, states to the east. East to the west? East?
State to the
I don't know with it. East, west, one of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we're 1 hour ahead of Florida, for example. So my timing that I wake up will be like 5 o'clock is a good balance for me, because I have kids.
You're a morning person.
I'm a morning person indeed, and
unlike
I have kids.
Unlike me.
Yeah, even not too bad, you know, but yeah, I'm sleeping. I have kids and I have to get them on a routine and schedule, but I find that I get up and I put myself first, I get some stuff done. I feel like I can have a better start. I hope I don't sound jumbo.
No, you're good.
I feel like I can have a better start throughout the day. So once school starts at 8:40. In America, we have duties every single day. Jamaicans have it too, but here is a bit, the layout of it is a bit different. You know, Jamaica, you might have devotion duty, and you have your classroom registration to do as a duty. But in America, we have duties where we go to the cafeteria. For last year, I had cafeteria duty, where the kids are served breakfast every single morning at my school. So I would be in the cafeteria assisting them to open stuff, sweep, clean up the tables, so you know the environment to be ready for the lunch people. So once I did my duty, my first class started at 9:15, and that was like an 8th grade class, and then my day started there onwards. I got a planning, they have planning time, and they have lunch in between, and I got that time like about from 1:10 all the way to 2:30. So that break was like for planning and meetings and lunch. And then once that is finished, I'm going to have my last class for the day, because I have 4 classes for the day. Once I have that last class for the day, I then now have another duty to close the day off. So we do have 2 duties per day. Morning was cafeteria, and my last duty was the bus ramp. What the bus ramp is, buses, school buses come in the school, they park, and we help to load students onto the bus for them to exit and go home, and then we repeat the same thing every single day.
And you leave school roughly about 4:30.
That's my daily close off time. So even if a bus is late and kids are still on the compound, my time is 4:30, and they have a different duty for late bus duty. So there are some teachers on late, because my time always come where they rotate it. So there's some specific group of people that work on late duty. So if you're not on late duty, to stay back at school for those kids to exit the building, 4:30 it's your time to clock out. And that's my day in terms, you know, ending. It have look ups and downs, but we know I'm not getting all of that. But that's roughly
a brief description of the day.
Yeah.
Well, guys, you see, I have so much questions. I am pretty much a detailed person, and I want to cramp everything into one interview. So I think it would be wise to have another one to finish up these like family life in America, or recommendations, what stands out for her. But as we close off though, I don't want her just to tell us, are you way better off in America as a teacher in opposed to Jamaica? What would be your final take, or what's your final take on that in terms of better off? Because people are trying to find a better life, and many live where they are in search for a better life. So would you say you're way better off here in America in opposed to Jamaica? Or is it more like it's just a change of culture for you? Were you suffering in Jamaica? Well, obviously with the way you look, I don't think you were, but but just to bring, because people are sometimes misled by false witnesses. So your take on that?
All right, to answer your question, direct and bold, there's no better in this sinful world that we live in. The better is in Christ. So when I was young and naive, I thought that I could run away from my problems. If somebody offended me, I could leave, and the school not like me in Jamaica, so I could resign, and then America looks so nice, and the classroom them looks so amazing. They finally have a computer in a classroom. I could not even get one at my school, not even much as to print a document, when I can just send something to the media room online. And let me tell you this, boy and girls, man and woman watching this, you create better for yourself. Whether you're in Jamaica or America, you have to create the better. It's the same end result, if I should be transparent. If resources there, you have some problems here where I'd rather trade the resources and take something for it. Jamaica have no resources, but there's some things that made trade. The no resources for resources in Jamaica if you do better. So I'm confused. So when I really run from better, there's no better. You create your better. You create where you can, because I can go back to Jamaica right now and teach in a classroom, and I have no problem doing that. Because even though I didn't have as much resources down in Jamaica, my kids were still passing CXC. They got 1s and 2s in art, and I'm proud to say that, because when I say for watch one channel, and my students, them do them thing, and them come here, and I'm still do them things. Still teach them to draw and color and paint. It's the same result. I'm still getting it. So, and sometimes I'm uncomfortable in a beautiful space. Same like Jamaica. I'm hot in the classroom them. No, my boss, I'm cold in the classroom them. You get what I'm saying, people? Wherever you go, we are people we can't please. We have issues. We have emotional problems. We are stressed. We fluctuate. If family good, mother give me father, you know, we always have issues. Is it because of that people think that we haven't sin? Create your better. There's no better, no way. You can in our 1-bedroom, are the best place you ever been in your life. Create your better, and that's what I did. So wherever I go, I work hard to shine. There's nobody's giving me any additional links. But I have to work hard in Jamaica, and foreign is no different. You get what I mean? I hope me not shouting at the mic.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Mclean. Thank you for sharing with us your experience so far, 1 year and counting. Commendation on your journey.
Thank you.
And you have done well, being a husband, being a friend, and just an onlooker from the sidewalk. I think you have earned yourself enough merit. And I hope that others will be inspired, and they will take heed to what you have made mention of, and they will also read between the lines. I like how you ended today's interview, sharing that make where you are at work. There's no better, and that's what we want to leave on that nice note that the tone she set just now. There's no way better. Make use of it, and we have done that. And that's one of the many reasons why we have transitioned as safely as we can, and that's why we're able to make certain decisions in opposed to others. It's not being better off, it's not being smarter, it's not being wiser. It's a matter of just mindset that we're making use of what we have, and we are going to take advantage of the resources that we have, and make what we have work. If you have that mindset, then you will climb mountain. But if you follow the mindset about better life is there and better life is there, when you go to so-called a better life, you'll understand that if you never apply the mindset, you maybe just be worse off. Thank you so much for tuning into Kingdom Expression, where it's all about changing life through effective living. We hope that next year, this time around, we'll do another video with Mrs. Mclean to find out 2 years and counting. What has she done so far? What mark has she left in the footprints of many who are coming along? God bless you all. See you soon.